Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. All right. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. And so earlier today, I had picked back this book. Okay, I picked it back up. This is my favorite read. If you guys have seen my videos, probably a little earlier today, touched on this book. Okay, I brought this book up. Okay, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. It is like my absolutely favorite. It really put things into perspective. I remember hearing Bob Proctor recommend this book, and I remember exactly where I was when I heard him recommend this book. Okay, I was on my way to Philly, and I was getting gas pumped in my car, and when he mentioned it, he was, given a scenario of him giving, during ceremony. I mean, his I'm looking for the word. Okay, like him having an event shoot. Okay, I'm trying to look for the word, can't find it. Okay, and he said, what do you do when there's people that's there that's interrupting you know um his performance or whatever, right? His speech. And a lady had recommended this book, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. This book. Now you guys know I've always recommend books, okay? And I'm so proud of myself, okay? I always recommend books. And the reason why I say I'm proud of myself, because you can have such a self-image of yourself, feeling like, you're not smart enough or whatever it is. And all of those are opinions. What other people may have said, they're not facts. Okay. And I said this the other day. You don't hear too many facts, okay, but you do hear a whole bunch of opinions. And so 20 special secrets, okay? And I read this book a few times because it has so many aha moments in here. If you just want to change your life and you're looking for a way to change it, steps on what you should do, right? This book I would highly, highly recommend. Okay, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. So it says 20 special secrets. When two people meet, the prize always, now this is the first secret. Okay, when two people meet, the prize always goes to the one with the most self insight. He will be calmer, or she will be calmer, more confident, more at ease with the other. Okay, when two people meet, the prize always goes to the one that has the most insight, self insight, the one who knows more about who they are as opposed of the other one. Okay, never permit, and this is no, I'm not reading I'm not reading the Bible. I'm reading the Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. The next one is never permit the behavior of other people to tell you how to feel. Never permit the behavior of other people to tell you how to feel. Okay? That when I read that one, I was like, oh my goodness. Okay? Like somebody do something, and I don't like saying somebody do something to you, right? But the first thing that I instantly think about is boundaries, right? Say for instance, you tell someone like, you know what, listen, when you talk to me like this, I'm hanging up, or I'm not gonna allow you to keep doing this, right? And say for instance, they talk to you the same exact way, right? And then you hang up on them, right? And then they call back and then they try to make you, feel guilty or try to make you feel bad or whatever, or you should never reacted like that. You didn't have to hang up on me or whatever. You know, never permit someone to try to make you feel or try to make you feel bad for the way you feel. Okay? Never allow someone to do that. Okay? The next one is pay little attention, and this is a big one. Pay little attention to what people say or do. Instead, try to see their innermost motive for speaking and acting. Now apply this very same rule to yourself and you become an enlightenment person. Okay. Um and then the next one is 4. Any friendship requiring the submission of your original nature is dignity to another person is all wrong. So, sometimes, right, you may feel I have to act a certain type of way. Hey, Trex Gaming, PCA baby, PCA, PCA. Oh, and JJ, PCA, PCA. Um, hey, Philip, PCA baby, PCA, PCA. And what I got from there, any friendship requiring the submission of your original nature and dignity to another person is all wrong. So sometimes you may feel like, well, I gotta be this way, right? Like I have to do what this person want me to do in order for us to be friends. Or I can't, like, I gotta basically do whatever it is that they want you to do in order for you to keep that friendship, right? And yeah, this puts me in the mind of, you know how sometimes you want to speak up, right? And you want to tell people exactly how you feel. And it can be a friend. And you may be afraid because you're like, oh, if I tell them this, they're gonna be upset, right? Or their friendship, we're not gonna no longer be friends. I told you guys I had a good friend. Okay, me and her still friends, but she moved. Um, and I remember when she would come to my house, and every time she would come over, right, she would, and I would be cooking. I always would be cooking or have food like on the stove. And she'll, like when I'm cooking, she'll say, oh, what you cooking? And she'll want some. And at first, I wanted to tell her so bad, but I said, how do you tell someone like this, right? Oftentimes what I would tend to do, I would just like cut the person off, right? Like instead of, because I would be afraid of the confrontation, the back and forth, I would just pretty much like just cut the person off. But I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to just cut her off. And I felt like if me and her was going to continuously be friends, that I have to express how I feel. And I remember I was a little afraid. Okay. I sent her a message and I was like, oh, hey. I was like, I don't mind you coming over, but every time you come over, you always want to eat, right? And she was, and that's exactly why her and I are friends, okay? Are friends because she wasn't the type, how sometimes you can express yourself to people and you can let them know exactly how it is or how you feel about the situation. And sometimes they'll fly off the handle or they'll say, no, that ain't true, right? But she was very much aware. And she said to me, she said, well, you ain't know I like to eat. She was like, you ain't know I like to eat. She was like, girl, I thought you knew I like to eat. And she said, well, every time I would ask you, did you want something? You would always say no. And it was sometimes that she would ask me, did she want something? And I would basically just tell her, no, you ain't, like she'd say, you want me to bring something? I'd just be like, no, you ain't got to bring nothing, right? So, any friendship requiring the submission of your original nature, the way you are, Some people you could hang around and maybe you loud, right? And they like, girl, why you so loud, right? Or sometimes you could be around people that you say that they your friend, but you always see that they, when they get around certain people, they throw you under the bus, right? They put the spotlight, so to speak, on you because of their own insecurities. Okay. Mystical speaking, there is no difference between you and another person. This is why we cannot hurt another without hurting ourselves, nor help another without helping ourselves. Okay. And so this is just basically what you put out is pretty much what you get back in return. When we are free of all unnecessary desires towards other people, we can never be deceived or hurt. Okay, so it's moon cycle time and I gotta have my tea. Okay. Don't gotta, but prefer to. Um, let's read this one again. Okay. When we are free from all unnecessary desires towards other people, we can never be deceived or hurt. So when you not seeking expectations, that's what I tend to get from this. Like when you're not like, oh well, I want this person to give me love. I expect for them to give me love. But if you give yourself love and you're not expecting, right, for somebody to give you something that you're not willing to give yourself, then it almost becomes like, I give myself love, okay? And I'm not gonna, like, it's not like, oh, I need you, like that neediness. It's like I give myself love, I give myself respect, right? Again, then you don't have these unrealistic expectations like, oh well, because you didn't give me love, now I'm sad, or now I feel this way or that way. And let me tell you something, okay? Whenever you are looking for somebody to give you something that you feel as though you can't give yourself, it's like that person have control and have power over you. And when they know that, they can withhold they love at any given time. It puts me in the mind of the book, The Mystic Path to not The Mystic Path. I mean, I'm reading The Mystic Path. The Mastery of Love. Okay, same exact author who wrote The Four Agreements. So when you are giving yourself these things, right? You don't have, unrealistic, desires, so to speak. The next one is you take a giant step towards psychological maturity when you refuse to angrily defend yourself against unjust slander. For one thing, resistance disturbs your own peace of mind. Let me see. You take a giant step towards psychological maturity when you refuse to angrily defend yourself against unjust slander. For one thing, resistance disturbs your own peace of mind. All right, I'm gonna have to come back to that one. All right. You understand others to the exact degree that you really understand yourself. Work for more self-knowledge. Okay. You understand others to the exact degree that you really understand yourself. Work for more. Okay. So that puts me in the mind of the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And in that book, it talks about know thyself. And when you really understand and know yourself, you could know why people tend to do the things that they tend to do, right? Because you did those things as well. Like a funny story, one of the things that I used to see my youngest son do, and he's 8 years old. One of the things that I used to see him do was when he would feel a little nervous, right? He would almost look for things that will piss him off, like with his younger sister, right? My daughter. He would look for things, and and I noticed that, and the reason being was because how I was, okay, and how sometimes I may still like when I feel a certain type of way. And let me tell you something, okay? Awareness is your best friend. Okay. Awareness is your best friend. And never feel like, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't feel, I should be, at the mountaintop already. I shouldn't feel, angry, or I shouldn't feel sad. I shouldn't feel any of those things. Feel the way you feel, because you got to understand those are emotions. Okay, those are emotions, and you have to understand that everything is energy. Emotions are, well, energy and motion. Okay, all right. The next thing is, do not be afraid to fully experience everything that happens to you in your human relations, especially the pains and the disappointments. Do this and everything becomes clear at last. Okay. The next one is, the individual who really knows what it means to love has no anxiety when his love is unseen or rejected. Very powerful. If you painfully lose a valuable friend, do not rush out at once for a replacement. Such action prevents you from examining your heartache and breaking free of it. Do not be afraid to be a nobody in the social world. This is a deeper and richer truth than appear on the surface. Every unpleasant experience with another person is an opportunity to see people as they are, not as we mistakenly idolize them. The more unpleasant the other person is, the more he can teach you. You can be so wonderfully free from a sense of injury and injustice that you are surprised when you hear others complain of them. We cannot recognize a virtue in another person that we do not possess in ourselves. Okay? So I believe I covered all 20 of them. Um, like I said, this book by Vernon Howard, it is like such a great read. And I remember like this one particular time, this was like my second time at that time reading this book. And, I came across a young lady's YouTube page. And, she's successful, and instantly, like, she was recommending books, like she's a reader. And I had got this book, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. I got it from off my shelf. And I started thinking, because I was like, oh my goodness, if I was there, she's successful and all these different things. And, sometimes you just compare yourself and thinking like, oh, well, if I have this, or if I have that person life, and, first of all, you can't get nobody else life. Okay. That's first. Okay. Second of all, pay attention to the stuff that you currently have already. Okay. And last night, I went through that with the whole gratitude thing. Dina, be grateful for what you have, And I started reading this, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard again. And it was one part that he talked about far as, depression, far as feeling the emotions that you tend to feel. And he said, don't suppress those emotions, when they come up. And it was something else, because I had did a video on this earlier today. pertaining to this, um, about emotions and stuff like that, about anger, sometimes, oh, right here. It says you can be happy right now. Why does man feel so bad so often? No, that was in it. 1 second, family. Oh, okay. You must stop trying not to get angry. This is suppression, which only makes it worse. Whenever you are angry, be angry without condemning yourself for it. Listen carefully, please. You do condemn yourself for being angry. That is why you hide it. And when I thought about that, sometimes we feel certain emotions and we may feel like, well, it's best if I sweep this thing up under the rug. It's best, I just put a smile on my face. It's best if if I don't show that side of me. And many people call it the shadow side, right? You want to show people, just the good aspects of you, right? You never want to show the other side. And it's so funny because people reflect back to us their side all the time, the side that we don't often want to show, right? And I give this analysis, it's like this, right? All of us have emotions, and emotions is whenever you feeling something, right? Say if you have this plastic bag, right? In a water is a metaphor for the emotions, okay? And you have this plastic bag that's over your sink, the sink faucet, the faucet, right? And you just instead of you moving the bag or whatever, you just put the bag there for whatever reason. And instead of you saying and speaking up about how you feel and what's going on with you, and there's a few ways that you can do this, okay? You can speak to yourself, honey, I do it, okay? Honey, call yourself whatever you want, okay? But I definitely speak to myself. I remember hearing Les Brown say those conversations would be some of the best conversations you ever have is with yourself. Also, you can journal. If you feel as though like you don't want to tell other people how you feeling or whatever it is, the whole concept is to get it out. Is not to allow it to stay bottled up within you. Is to get it out. Okay? And so as long as you just put in water, right, the emotions in a bag, eventually the bag is going to explode, right? Because it's too much pressure. And that's the same as that concept with us keeping those emotions bottled up. Eventually you're going to explode because it's like the emotions that we tend to feel, they coming up for a reason. Sometimes it can be for us to take a look at things that we tried to hide, things that we didn't want to face. It could be some childhood trauma we may have experienced. And as long as, and the reason it's coming up is so we could make room for something else that we do say that we want, right? But as long as you like, I'm like, is it raining? It's raining. But as long as you like, well, I can't express this, I can't show this, you just keep all that, all those emotions bottled in. Another thing you gotta understand is this. In this here universe, there's a such thing called the vacuum law. Okay. And the vacuum law pretty much states that you have to make room for the good that you desire. You can't just put something on top of that thing or put something in a place of that thing. You have to make room for the good that you desire. So those emotions that you feel, right? They're just emotions. They're not good or bad. They just emotions. We just give title to them. That's it. I'm gonna give you guys an example. One second. 1 second. 1 second, family. All right. I had to go use the bathroom and get some nuts. Listen. I remember I would walk the bridge, okay? Now the bridge is is New Jersey going into New York, right? And when I first started walking the bridge, it was I wanted to challenge myself, okay? I wanted to stop being afraid of heights because as a kid growing up, I will always hear my mother say how she was afraid of heights. And so this was like after the time that I decided to quit doing Uber for the first time. Okay. And I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on my happiness. I'm going to focus on, getting out of my comfort zone, doing things that perhaps scares me a little, but excites me at the same time because I overcame it. And so I remember walking a bridge. I would do that, in the beginning I was a little afraid, okay, to get on the damn bridge. But I was so determined that this is not my fear. Okay, so I started walking it. Then I got so damn comfortable walking a bridge, okay, that I started working out up there. Okay. I started working out up there. I would run up there, okay, because now it's like, it was just what I gave meaning to, right? It was just the thing that, I said. It was the story that I was telling myself. And those oftentimes the case, the story that we tend to tell ourselves. And so, I walked in, and then it came to a point where as though it's like, I've been doing this for a while, what's next, right? And I think in the words of Aaron Doughty, one of the things he says, he talks about letting go, and he's another YouTuber. And I love watching his videos because, especially when it pertains to letting go. And one of the things he said was the desire. Now I say desire a lot, okay, about our desires and manifesting them and stuff like that. But one of the things he said was desire and is not so much the thing that we want or the happiness is is well, yeah, it's the happiness, but it's mainly about when we do one thing, right? It's like the adrenaline, right? Like, oh, if I hit 10,000 well, when I hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, then it's on to like, oh, well, how could I get 20,000? It's more so about the adrenaline more than anything. And he said that is what we are really attached to, right? And I don't know who I was listening to. Damn it, what is his name? Oh, I used to listen to his YouTube channel too. I can't think of his name right now. But anywho, so I had stopped walking the bridge for a while, and then I started walking a bridge again. And I remember this one particular day, I had all these emotions wrapped around walking a bridge. Like, a little fear kicked back in. And I was like, where the hell did this come from? Right. And I remember I was walking a bridge, and I didn't even get halfway there. Like, where you see the New Jersey and the New York sign. Like, I had hurried up and came back down, right? And I started listening to Muji. I don't know if you guys listen to Muji. Who Muji is really good. I listen to Muji. I listen to I think it Sandeep. I think his name is the guy who had the white beard. And I was listening to them, and one of the things that I had got from the guy who had the white beard, I can't think of his name, but One of the things he said was, you know, those emotions that we feel, they're neither good or bad. You know, it's just what we put labels on. And because I was thinking like, oh my goodness, I didn't walk the bridge, this emotion, these feelings I have is bad, I shouldn't feel this way and all these different things. But it's a reason why you feel that way. And if you oftentimes, if you tap in with yourself and ask yourself questions, why do I feel this way? You know, why is this showing up? You'll get the answer. Okay, you will get the answer. Or write it down. Why do I feel this way? Journal or whatever. But never suppress your emotions or feel bad because of how you feel. All right? They are emotions, right? They're not good or bad. Just what you give a title or a meaning to. Remember, life is meaningless. And I had got that from Bashar. Life is meaningless. We give meaning to it. Okay? All right? So, with that being said, let me get to reading. I love you guys. Keep rocking out. Keep believing in yourself. Keep going. Keep growing. And keep glowing. Until next time. Peace.